Alright, like I told y'all before, I talked about this piece of marble I have in my workbench here that I use it for a lot of different things. When I get ready to bend sides, I just spray this down, this piece of marble, just spray it in with water, and the surface tension will actually, it'll pretty much suck that top down there, that side down there to it, and then you just wet that side, and that's been sitting there for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. I just keep soaking it with water to prepare a side for bending. Of course, now you can see this has already been cut out for the profile of the guitar. I have marked which side is going to show, and this is the bass bout, the top part of the guitar. This will be here. This you begin with one good straight edge, and I also have a mark there. That is the center of the waist. Each piece is marked for the center of the waist, and you can establish that center by measuring around from the center of the neck block around to the center of the waist with a cloth tape or a piece of string, or however you establish that mark. It doesn't have to be exact, because obviously I've left the sides a little bit wide, and you know, this could move, but it's got to be fairly close. To bend sides, I have I guess this is what you call a fox bender. Set this thing up. You use stainless steel plates. This is obviously it's an OM form. This one is I purchased this form. It came. When I bought this, I got this in 2 forms. I got an OM or actually I got this in 1 form, and I bought the OM form, my Dreadnought and Gibson J185 and something else, Martin Jumbo. Those forms are made by me, but it's pretty simple to make. You just cut out, and you know, you can buy these aluminum rods at Lowe's or anywhere. I've heard a lot of people, you know, I don't have a thermometer. I don't check this as I'm going. I just kind of do this based on feel. I've done a lot of, you know, different things. The first few guitars I built, I actually built I bent the sides with a piece of hot pipe with a propane torch and bent them by hand. And you know, I'm glad that I did that, so I have that experience, but I'm not going to go back because it took hours to bend one side, and with this it takes 10 minutes. So anyway, I'll just continue with the setup of this. This is, like I say, this has been sitting in water for maybe 20 minutes. This is the center of the waist. There is a lineup dial right there. So, and I've known some people to say that their guitars their sides will cut. If you get this over here, all the way against this edge, where one part of this is resting on that plywood, and the rest of it is here in the void, then you will get that cup. If you move this out here and get this right in the center, or just make sure that it's off of that plywood, it'll help avoid that cupping. It's also very important that this be parallel to the side, to the side. So, because obviously, if you get it twisted like this, you know, I mean, that's exaggerating, but if you get it twisted, you're not going to get a good straight side. It's going to be oh, I don't know what the word is. It's going to be, but it's going to be twist. It's going to have a twist to it. So you want to make sure that you get good and straight on parallel to the side. Okay. And Making sure try not to move that too much. And then I have use the silicone heat blanket. There's different ways of heating this up. Some people use light bulbs. This just seems to be the better way for me. Now, once you get that, you kind of eyeball back inside there, making sure that you can see your center, your waist mark. And I need to come back this way just a tiny bit. And bring this down and apply just a little bit of pressure to hold everything in place. Now, at this point, give that a little bit of a mist of water on there. A couple of clamps here to hold things together so the heat is transferred throughout the whole thing. And turn this thing on. Woo! That draws a lot of power and it shuts the lights down temporarily. So this thing heats up really quickly. You can see as it'll start to relax. I'll go ahead and put these on here. Okay, let that heat up just a little bit. Don't know what else to tell you right now, except that's getting hot, and we'll there's just a lot of different methods of bending sides, I guess, and you know, taking temperature and all that. But I think if your wood is properly thicknessed, I talked to you yesterday about the thickness on these sides. These sides are actually right at 2.04. 2.04, which is slightly larger than 3/32 of an inch. Now, that's warm. You can hear that sizzling as it's as I'm pushing down on it and applying pressure. So as that's cooking a little bit, go ahead and, yeah, that's dry. Go ahead and shoot a little bit more water to it right there. Put that back down. Give this up here another little drink. Yeah, that's dry up in there. You can see the steam coming out of there. That wood is starting to relax. I try not to use so much water. A little bit more pressure there so that things don't slide as I begin to bend this. Get down there. And you can just feel. Just let that, give that a little time to forget that it was ever a tree. Bring that right on around. Take that clamp loose. Bring that right on around. Turn around this way. Now this is a tighter bend on this side, so you want to be a little bit more careful. Now this is my control here is variable temperature, and then I have a timer here. I set the timer I set on 10 minutes. But once I get this bent, I will actually turn the heat down. This is a steeper bend, but that's bending really nice. There was a time when I thought it was a good idea to wrap a side in like brown paper, like a grocery bag, and wet the paper, and it really created some staining and some crazy, I guess, where it extracts oil from the wood and it absorbed it in different ways. But it really stained the wood, and I basically ruined some sides by it. I have learned that really more heat and less water, and then once you get it bent, just give it a little bit of time for the heat to do its thing, and then leave it overnight, and that gives me I've gotten a good result without burning. You know, you just kind of get a feel for it. If you feel more comfortable reading up on using a thermometer and bringing it to a certain temperature for so long or whatever, then by all means, whatever makes you feel best about what you're doing. But this works for me. Now, this, if you get this down too tight, you will actually put too sharp of a bend in there. You will, it'll kind of crease it. So I go down a little bit and then just back that off just a little bit. Make sure you got everything pulled down. And then I do something else here. I've got these are big heavy rubber bands, and I put this on here. I have found by putting these on here that this gives me a good smooth transition out of the waist and into the upper and lower bout of the guitar. This just keeps pressure, even pressure. Here you're going to have good pressure, but right there, you know, this just gets good even pressure. You get a good smooth transition, no humps, no bumps, and that's how I bend a side. Yeehaw.